Getting out of debt is possible, and I'm here to tell you that you can love your life while doing it. All right, when you hear the words debt-free, what do you think? Some of you are thinking, that's impossible. That can happen to other people. That cannot happen to me. Some of you are like, oh no, it's happening. I'm doing it. I'm on the debt-free journey and it's going to happen. Some of you are sitting there and be like, it is 100% possible because I am debt-free. But here's the deal. No matter which camp you're in, it is a countercultural way of thinking, of living debt-free, living without debt, not ever going into debt. That is so weird. But here's the deal. Many of you guys watching probably have debt. And in order to get out, it is going to take a lot of work. Because you can wonder your way into debt, you cannot wonder your way out. It is going to take sacrifice, it's going to take discipline, but it is possible. And it is so worth it to have no payments and to be debt-free. But while you're on this journey, you're going to hear some lies out there. Like, yeah, you cannot get a nice used car. It's just not out there. You're also going to hear, you cannot have any fun while you're getting out of debt. It's a miserable life you're going to be in. You're also going to hear, there's no way that you can eat healthy without spending a lot of money and going into debt for it. Like, there's just no way. There's no way you can eat healthy. But listen, we're gonna bust all of those myths and we're gonna bring a couple on who's in the middle of their debt-free journey and they are having a lot of fun. Trust me, you'll see. And I'm also going to bring on my friend and dietitian, Jenna Waters, to help us learn how to grocery shop and eat healthy on a tight budget. Now, one common thing I do hear from people a lot is that they really believe that everyone else, their friends, their family, they have it all together and that they are the only ones who are stressed and struggling with money, which is a lie. Last year, I was at a speaking event in a book signing line, and this girl came up and I was signing her book, Love Your Life, Not Theirs, and she was like, Rachel, I can't wait to dive into this, but I have to tell you, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I looked at her and I gave her the biggest hug in the world. And I said, girlfriend, listen, that's not gonna be your story soon because you're gonna learn to budget, you're gonna get out of debt. It's not gonna be you forever. But you're like majority of people. Why are you whispering? It's okay. It's okay to claim where you're at because you're about to change. Because majority of people, they don't have it all together, you guys, okay? The Joneses are broke. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. The average family in America has $15,000. On average, more baby boomers are still paying off their student loans than millennials, okay? This is normal. The average car payment in America, close to $500. This is where people are living. That is normal. But you, my friends, you are going to be weird. You're gonna start down this debt-free journey. You're gonna look different than everyone else, but that's okay. You don't have to believe the lies that your life cannot be enjoyable while you're getting out of debt, because it can be, and that's what this show is going to be all about. All right, coming up next, we're going to debunk the lie that you can't have a nice used car. Feeling safe at home for me is a top priority, especially since having kids, it's always on the forefront of my mind. Simply Safe Home Security has given me the peace of mind that no matter where I am, the things most precious to me are safe. Simply Safe is a smart and affordable way to secure your home and protect your family. There are no contracts or long-term commitments, and you can even customize it for your home specifically. And guys, it is so easy to install. You can do it yourself and have your whole house set up within an hour. And Winston's favorite feature is checking it on our phones while we're on the go. Start monitoring your home around the clock with Simply Safe for just under $15 a month. Go to simplysafe.com/Rachel right now to get peace of mind without breaking the bank. All right, the myth out there that I hear all the time. I can't buy a nice used car for my family. And I also hear people say, oh, I can't buy an affordable, safe car. I have to have a safe car for my family. Listen, people, you can buy a nice used car. I am telling you that. Actually, the Lexus SUV I drive is 10 years old and it's beautiful. She's gorgeous. Trust me, okay? You can buy a nice used car. A lot of people say, oh, well, you just have to spend tens of thousands of dollars. Trust me, I have seen plenty of nice, even luxury brand cars. If that's what you're looking for, please do not buy into the lie that you have to go buy a brand new car. No, there are plenty of people who have had nice, used luxury brand cars, again, that they pay for cash. Just go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or take a look at a few of these cars that we found. Yeah, these great cars. Guys, it can be done. And maybe you're currently negotiating for a great used car. Well, if that's the case, click the link below for a video to show you how to do it. All right, let's break down the idea that you cannot buy a safe car that is affordable. People, our safety meter's gone a little crazy these days. Can we just say that? I want you to go ask your parents how they drove around when they were kids. Yeah, this is probably not a great example to use out there, but I remember going to my grandmother's house and we used to have this huge blue van and my sister and I would sit in the floorboards with our big bin of Barbies and we'd sit there and play all the way to my grandmother's house. Now, I don't recommend that, but I feel like people believe now you have to have like 18,000 airbags and like 16 buckles for your kids in their car seat. So listen, your car is going to be safe unless you buy one that's like made before 1978 or something. Everything is going to be okay. You do not have to go buy a brand new luxury SUV the moment you have a baby, okay? We're all gonna be good. And listen, here's a top 5 list of the safest and most reliable cars that you can buy for under $5,000. Ready? A Honda Civic, great car. Honda Accord, love it. Toyota Camry, Toyota Corolla, yes, and Toyota Avalon. Toyota, man, my jam. I love Toyotas. They're the best and they last forever, people. I don't get commissions on Toyota sales, but I love it, I really do. Okay, so now here are some examples of ads that we found on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. Here's a 2003 Toyota Camry. Here's a 2005 Honda Accord. And you know what? I bet you can talk them down to $4,000 if you had cash. That's right. Okay, guys, that just took us like an hour to find these cars. You can actually take time and research, and these sites are constantly updating. So you can find a great car. Now, keeping our family safe is very important when you shop for cars, and it's just as important to keep your family safe at home. It's another misconception that home security has to break the bank. Simply Safe starts at just $15 a month, and there's no contracts, there's no long-term commitments. You can customize it for your home and get exactly what you need for your family. I'm telling you, it is so easy to set up, and you'll have it up and running in no time. Winston and I love the fact that it's easy to monitor on our phones while we're out on the go. It's one of the best investments that you can make in keeping your family safe. And we all like to save money, right? Having an alarm system can actually save you as much as 20% on your homeowner's insurance in a year. So to start protecting your home and your family, head to simplysafe.com/Rachel. All right, coming up next, I'm going to debunk the lie that you can't have fun while getting out of debt. I'm going to introduce you a couple who is having so much fun while paying off their debt. So check out their story.
I was just living a life that was just, you could just feel the weight of the world on my shoulders. I just started getting fed up with the way things were.
We just didn't feel like we had any freedom, and I also didn't really know, like, we have this money, where is it going?
We're trying to get to a place in life where we can breathe.
Our church, they just put up on the screens, hey, we're doing Financial Peace University.
We just looked at each other and said, hey, we just got to do it. It was almost as a matter of fact. It was something about the word financial and peace, it was perfectly named. It really was, because I wasn't having peace. Our finances there was nothing peaceful about it.
And even though it was hard coming to terms with, okay, we need to make some really big changes here. It felt hard,
but we were up for it. We were like,
yeah,
man, because what we were doing was just not working. Once we got through financial peace, we immediately The BMW had to go. The motorcycle had to go.
If we haven't used it in the last month, we're
it.
selling it.
It's out.
And we did.
We started just
Snowballing.
paying everything off, snowballing. As that was happening, you could feel the freedom.
Oh, it felt amazing. It still feels amazing.
Still feels pretty good. Watching Dave's YouTube channel and you constantly seeing people screaming their necks off, like, I'm out, I'm free, debt free. And I'm like,
you want to be those people.
You want to be those people so desperately. There's a sacrifice in the beginning that you have to make.
But the thing is that our goal, we didn't want to go back to where we were. So making that sacrifice for that short amount of time was completely worth it. This is our new excitement in life. You know, the cars and the stuff and all that was fun. But this is more thrilling because we're achieving something phenomenal.
You know, when baby says too, so there's still a journey to go, but man, we're not where we used to be.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. You guys, your story I love so much. So to kind of jump right in, you guys are currently on Baby Step
2.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so take me a little bit before the journey.
Now I was just literally remember being every time we swiped the card, the pressure was it was like a knife. I was like, oh, man, should we be swiping this card? You know,
right.
so
and how did we get here?
Yeah, like
how did we get in this position with all this debt? And we don't know what to do.
Yeah. So how much debt did you guys have?
So we had about 92,000 in debt after all is.
And what was it? Was it credit cards, student loans?
All of it. It was credit cards, student loans. We had cars, motorcycle. I mean, we would just, you know.
Yeah. So everything you just listed to me, you're like cars, you know, credit card debt, which is probably a lot of stuff, you know, motorcycle, everything. From the outside looking in, just looking at you guys probably like looked like you had it all together though. Like you probably had some great stuff. Did you look good to people that didn't know the money situation?
Yeah, we looked normal.
Yeah.
We looked normal.
Yeah.
We looked like all of our neighbors. But we didn't realize how bad we were in debt until we sat down and we listed everything. And I cried. I was like...
Yeah, and then you think you're doing good because you every couple of weeks you pull out a pencil and paper and you're writing down numbers to make sure you can pay the bills. But paying the bill, that's just not enough to pay the bills. Your status quo, you're not getting anywhere.
Yes. So you guys got to a point with your money that you're like, okay, we're just like piecing things together. We're trying to pay the bills. We're starting to feel the pressure. We're feeling the stress. What was the moment that you said, we have to change and do something different?
Well, I think...
it was a church.
It was a church.
Yeah.
It definitely was a church because you walk in there just feeling like it's another week, heavy-hearted. You're praying that God comes and reveals himself that Sunday physically to pull us out of our situation.
Which he did.
Which he did.
He did. Which he did. It came up on the screen. Hey, we're doing our next course of Financial Peace University. And at the end of it, like...
Are y'all like nudging each other?
Well, Jeremy was like, babe, financial peace.
It was just like the perfect word. Financial peace.
Like,
Put them together.
They don't go together, but they should.
They should go together.
They should go together because it is.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, let's sign up. And we did. And
we did.
We got in there. And I was a little bit apprehensive because I always thought I was a good budgeter. You know?
Yes. But so what did budgeting look like for you when you thought, oh, I'm a good budgeter? What did that mean?
It was, write down my bills, what had to go out and what's left and how do I allocate that money.
Yes.
And that's easy to do when you're single and you're young, you don't pay rent.
So during Financial Peace University, what were your big aha moments of like, oh wow, we can do this, and like, oh, we're doing it wrong? Like what were your thoughts?
For me was we are sending other people all our money. Why don't we have
Christmas
any of
for
our
everybody
own
else
money,
but us?
Right? Like, you take some money, you take some money.
Yeah,
like,
it was tremendous. It was first the feeling of, my God, why I didn't know this information sooner? The weight of the gravity of that just hit me like, my God, had I done this even a couple of years prior, or a few years prior, what a game
even
changer.
before we bought our cars and the motorbike, before we bought all that,
and it was
we wouldn't have done it.
So, but we fortunately had a great coach in that, and he said, "Hey, that was then. You know now."
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
We drew the line in the sand and say, "Okay, here's the game plan."
And where are you guys at right now? How much have you paid off?
Just about 70,000.
You guys, seriously,
Just
you're
about
like
70,000.
way down the road.
Yeah,
in Baby
we
Step
got rid of
2.
those big ticket items. That
So you sold cars.
Got rid of the BMW.
sold the
got the
motorbike.
motorcycle. Just eating.
But was it hard selling the cars? Because we tell it to do like for people. We're like, if you can get it,
We did the math. And I think the cars was what we struggled on, the motorbike and the car was what we struggled on because we had a beautiful BMW.
Yeah,
he
you
had a
got caught up in the
Harley,
luxury and the lifestyle.
And the Harley's fun, and driving the Beam is
You're
fun.
going down the highway and all that stuff. But then we did the math, and the math became more attractive to us than the vehicles.
Exactly.
And that lifestyle that we were leading. We wanted a more enduring lifestyle,
Yeah.
a more permanent situation.
You guys are killing it. I mean, seriously, I'm like, you've made such progress and you've made the sacrifices, right? Like, I mean, we talk about when you go into debt, you can wonder your way in, you cannot wonder your way out. You have to be intentional, you have to have sacrifice.
Yes.
So, what has life looked like in baby step 2? Have you had fun in baby step 2?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And honestly, part of the fun is seeing that you're getting out of debt,
Yes.
seeing the reality of, wow, I'm not straddled by that huge amount of debt.
Yes.
Like, it's so close.
It's
to be completely
exciting.
out.
We find that we're doing more now than we were before.
Wow.
And it takes more planning, absolutely. But there are so many things that you can do for free. There are so many ways you can get discounts. We're always online. Hey, let's sign up for that email and we can get 20% off.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You can't always be as spontaneous, but you get to do all this other free stuff.
Exactly.
And it makes you get creative too. So what are like the favorite things that you guys have done with the kids while in baby step 2?
I think sometimes, Rosanna's really good about we'll pack some lunches. So we'll go explore different parks.
Yeah, we'll Google recreation centers.
We'll
Where's
go
the
take
free
pictures as a family, just stuff that's, building us.
Yeah.
You know, and
Parks.
it hasn't cost us anything but just
Gas.
Gas.
Totally.
That's
Which is
already
in the budget.
Which is in the budget. It's already pre-planned.
Yeah. They're always like, everyone's like, oh, well, don't you just want to go out and have coffee together? And, I've got keep cups. We'll pack a hot coffee or a hot cup of tea with us and we drink it in the car instead of going through the Starbucks drive-thru and spending $10. And then they want a snack, so you buy a snack and it just goes up. But, we packed great snacks.
Yeah.
And we packed great coffee that probably tastes a little bit better than
What we're gonna pay for. You're probably a great coffee maker.
And we have that. We still have that experience of going out and eating out. We're just not giving other people our money.
And it's actually a
We're
better
taking care of
experience
it.
because one, something about being intentional enriches your experience for your family.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about your family. You're thinking about the experience you're going to have. And so when you're intentional, it just elevates your overall experience.
Yeah.
And we're another day closer to being 100% out.
Yes, that's such a good point because I'm like, because mentally that you're taking care of your family on a deeper level than ever before,
absolutely.
right? You're
Yes.
setting them up for this incredible future. So it's like when that foundation is laid, the immediate and the present is so much richer.
It's fun. It's exciting. And even, this might sound weird, but at the end of the weekend, I love having money left over.
Yeah.
That we budgeted the money.
Yep.
But we didn't spend it.
Yeah.
And that's so exciting because then we save that.
Yes.
We
Rosanna's
didn't do
been
that
great
before.
using the app, so that's been.
I'm like,
It's
wait,
my specialty.
I'm just going to go in there. I need to put that in.
We got it.
Yeah, for every dollar. Is that, do you love it?
Every dollar.
It saves our lives every day.
Absolutely. And I love, okay, I've got this left. Okay, I paid that
It's
bill.
very clear. Here it is.
Yeah.
If she made a
Yeah.
change, I'll pull out my phone. Okay, cool. Just checking, making sure you're good. Okay, cool. We're good.
So what would you say to someone, because there's people watching right now, and they're thinking, oh, wow, they had $90,000+ in debt. They're getting out, but they're doing it as a family. Like, what would be your encouragement? What would you say to someone that is sitting here watching you?
Yes.
I would say stop. Stop thinking. Just do it.
Just do it.
Do the plan.
Just do it. Put everything about your worries. Oh, well, I'm not going to have this and I'm not going to have that. Don't worry. You can get it back. Just stop overthinking. Go do financial peace.
We want to be the ones victorious.
Yes.
Scream. We want to scream. That was getting on me so much. I was watching Dave's YouTube channel and everybody screamed. I was like, I want to scream. I want to scream.
And you will.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
We're getting
I'm
close.
like,
We're
yes,
getting close.
like, you're so
So
close.
excited.
Okay, after you come do your debt-free scream, come back on the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to hear all about it.
Oh, man.
Sure, because if you're so happy now, I cannot wait to see how excited you
We're
are.
going to be screaming.
It's going to be loud.
Well, seriously, you guys are such an encouragement. I mean, like, for families watching, for people that don't think they can, or people that are in the middle of the journey, like, you guys are living it out, but yet you are enjoying life
Yeah.
and in a
Sure.
deeper, richer way
100%.
than with BMWs and motorcycles
Yes.
on payments. So
Exactly. They may
Agreed,
look
agreed.
fun,
Yes.
but this is way funner.
So
Yeah,
good.
this is much better.
Yes.
Take a breath, babe. Take a breath.
I can breathe better. I'm starting to breathe.
No, I love it. Okay, guys, if you want this, seriously, click the link below. Go to Financial Peace University, sign up, check it out because it is the proven plan. Amazing. And you
Yes.
guys are living proof of it.
Absolutely.
Yes,
We
do it.
vouch for Dave Ram.
Yeah.
Do it.
Financial peace.
Uncle Dave, thank you, Uncle Dave. Thank you, Uncle Dave.
Thank you guys so
Thank
much
you,
for coming
Rachel.
on
Thanks,
and
Rachel.
sharing your
Thank
story.
you.
Seriously, fantastic. All right, coming up next is my friend and dietitian, Jenna Waters. She's gonna show us how you can actually eat healthy without spending a crazy amount of money because it is possible. Guys, let's be real. Being a parent is hard work. Now that I have 2 daughters of my own, it feels like the to-do list never ends. And as every parent knows, your priorities change and you have to make important decisions for your child's future. That's why term life insurance is a must for every parent. It's so easy to get and it's affordable. What you're looking for is 10 to 12 times your annual income to make sure everyone in your family is taken care of. Winston and I use Xander Insurance. They do all the work for you to find the best prices and options. So go to Xander.com to get started on a quote today, because that's who we trust to take care of our family. Well, thanks for coming back, Jen.
Thanks for having me again. It's fun to be back.
Oh, well, back by
I'm excited to
popular
talk
demand, you guys. She's here to give us all the secrets because there's a huge lie out there that you cannot eat healthy on a budget. And so
Absolutely.
people getting out of debt, you know, everyone's budgets are really tight and like, well, I still can't eat healthy with my family.
Sure.
But that's a lie.
It is, and it's so easy to believe because
Yes.
I mean, it seems like drive-through meals would be a whole lot cheaper because they're
Yes.
not that expensive.
Totally.
But then when we actually calculate it and look at the food,
I know, so you're telling me about this. Like, this is
yes.
so fascinating to me.
It is crazy. We did a little experiment. So we went through the drive-through and got a kid's meal. This kid's meal was about $3.29 for
Fast
a
food meal.
cheeseburger, kid's meal, French fries.
Yep.
And then I made it at home. So completely different ingredients. The ingredients are almost not comparable in terms of health. So
Yeah.
these are just oven-baked French fries with avocado oil.
Yes.
This is a grass-fed burger and a homemade sprouted grain roll. So this was $1.75 to make at home.
Seriously,
Yeah, so
per
half
serving.
the price and literally so much better.
Yeah,
nutritionally.
so much better for
Yes.
you. So great. Okay, and you
Yeah.
have such a great system in place. So tell us about that, how families out there can eat healthy on a budget.
Sure. So ultimately, to eat at home, we have to set up rhythms. Otherwise, it just gets so overwhelming. I
Totally,
mean,
yeah.
we've all been there. And so I say you have to plan, purchase, and prepare.
Okay.
And that's a weekly rhythm. So
Okay.
choose a day to plan, choose a day to purchase, and choose a day to prepare.
Now I do this, Jenna.
Yeah.
I'm a planner.
That's-
I don't
yes,
know. I don't know the
by
rest of the
nature.
2 steps, but I am.
Yes.
I am. I'm a planner.
That's
so,
huge.
So what do you recommend?
And that makes all the difference. I often try to make something at the beginning of the week that I can use all the parts of, again, to maximize the budget.
Yes.
And then use in different ways throughout the week.
Okay.
So this is an example. This is just a whole chicken right here.
Okay. Yes.
And this is something that's super easy to put in something like the Instant Pot or the Crock Pot. And then we'll eat that for dinner one night. And then as soon as we take the meat off of it and eat that for dinner, then I'll throw the bones back in the Instant Pot with some carrots and celery and onion, just super quick.
Yeah.
And then I make homemade bone broth, which is super nutrient dense.
Yes.
It has a lot of good collagen and good protein and gelatin in it. And then you're using all the different parts of the food.
Yes,
And so
yes.
you're maximizing that food to its fullest potential.
I love that.
And so being that the whole chicken is cheaper by the pound, also means that the chicken thighs, certain cuts of chicken are gonna be cheaper. And that makes a huge difference. So one of our favorite things to do during the week is like a pulled barbecue chicken. And I used to do it with chicken breasts, but then when I realized, hey, we could save some money by doing chicken thighs, I tried chicken thighs, and it's actually better because it pulls so much easier.
Yes.
It makes a really kind of like juicier chicken meal, and so that on top of a sweet potato
Oh,
with some
sweet potato.
barbecue sauce.
And then cilantro.
Yes, is just a yummy.
so
it's
good.
so easy, and just like
Yes.
little tweaks make a huge difference.
So good
that's
with the
something
budget.
a super simple transition.
Okay.
Same thing for beef. I find that meat is one of the most expensive categories.
Okay.
So we looked up a local farmer, and he sells 100% grass-fed beef for $4.80 a pound.
Oh my gosh.
And in the state of Tennessee, if you're buying directly from a farmer, you don't pay sales tax. So you're automatically saving a percentage,
There, by
and
doing
that
that.
goes for a lot of different states.
Yes.
And so that's almost half price for
Ground
a
beef.
better quality product. You're supporting local farmers, and that's huge. I mean,
Yes,
it tastes so
absolutely.
good too. So another category of where we can save money in the grocery store is dry products. So things
Okay.
like beans, flours, sometimes even spices.
Yeah.
And so that dry section of the grocery store that has all those big bins on the wall, I would always just walk by them
Yes,
and wonder
yes.
who goes in that
does
area.
that with all the beans?
Right,
Yeah.
lots of bins of beans. But interestingly enough, if you look at black beans, these are organic black beans. So a pound of those is $1.99 a pound from the bins,
Okay,
from the
that you
dry
just-
bins
you
that
get
you
out
just scoop
yourself.
yourself,
Yes.
right? And you usually weigh them. But for the bagged beans, the same amount, 1 pound is $2.99 a pound. So you're paying literally $1 extra for the bag.
Yeah, for the
Right.
for the fancy bag.
So just
versus your
scoop
own.
your own beans.
I literally do walk by. I'm like, who goes to that beans?
Right.
Like, look at all
Right.
the beans. Yeah,
Raw cashews.
but
what is that?
they're
Yeah.
saving money.
They are. They know
People-
something that we don't know.
And now you know, guys. Now you know.
So then over here, we're going to go to the produce section.
Fruits and vegetables.
Fruits
all
and
that.
veggies, right. And so one thing, this is super interesting. This is a container of pre-sliced apples. It's 5 bags of pre-sliced apples. The whole container is 11 ounces, and it's $6.99. But if you
$7 for the apples.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay. It's good.
Just
Good to
because
know.
they've sliced it for you. But then a whole bag, a 3-pound bag of organic apples is $5.99. And so you're getting almost triple the product, well, quadruple really,
Yeah.
for less of a price. So then we think about what produce. A lot of times when we think about health, we think about, hey, do I want to buy organic? Should I buy non-organic?
Yes.
Oftentimes we want to buy all organic because we think it's healthier. And to a certain extent, that's true, but let's be wise about which ones we're buying organic.
Okay.
So there's a list released by the Environmental Working Group. It's called the Clean 15 or the Dirty Dozen. So
Okay.
things on the Dirty Dozen list are things like spinach and berries, celery, bell
interesting.
peppers.
So get these organic. This
Get
is a good
these-
place to put your money if you're going to buy
Exactly.
organic. Go there. Okay.
Exactly, and I find that even cheaper because organic is obviously more expensive. A great
Yep.
way to do that is to buy frozen. So frozen
Yes.
blueberries, this is $2.99 a bag for 12 ounces, whereas just this little container of organic blueberries is
Yeah.
$5.99. And so it's
So crazy.
again
Yeah.
almost triple the price for
Because
a
it's
third of
frozen.
them. And if you're putting it in a
That's a good
smoothie, it doesn't matter,
Yes.
right? And then on the
Good.
Clean 15 list, things like that have a thick skin, like an avocado, you don't necessarily need to buy organic.
Okay,
So
that's
money
good to
saver
know.
there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. As far as the preparation category goes, I love to think about how we can use leftovers in a way at the end of the week where we're not wasting food. Because
Yes.
inevitably when Saturday rolls around or the weekend rolls around, there's all this food in our fridge that if we don't do something with it, we're throwing it out.
It's gonna go
And
bad.
that's-
Yep.
So every time we throw something out, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's like $10 in the garbage.
Yes, seriously. seriously.
So I try to think about reinventing leftovers. So for example, on one week we had leftover meat sauce that we did with like a spaghetti squash.
Yes.
Leftover random piece of a bell pepper.
Yes.
Some leftover salsa that really had to be eaten.
Yes.
Some taco seasoning and some leftover roasted sweet potatoes. And so I threw it into a soup with actually the chicken broth that I made earlier in the week. Into a taco soup. So the last thing is treats. I say that the most expensive things for the week are meats and treats.
Yes.
Those are the things that drown us in the grocery store because
Okay.
the kids are like, hey, we need these random things. And then we spend, way too much money on random treats in the
Yes,
grocery store.
yes.
And so these I just made. Peanut butter cups are my weakness. And so this is a base of almond flour, maple syrup, peanut butter, just natural peanut butter, cocoa powder, raw cocoa powder, and coconut oil. Those are the only ingredients. And so
That's
you're
amazing.
getting much better ingredients, and it's like pennies compared to what you would buy if you're buying, a good quality treat at the grocery
right,
store.
right. In the organic
Yes,
section. Yeah.
exactly.
You can just like
Exactly.
make it up
And it
start-
really doesn't take much time. I mean, in all of this, there's the balance of what's the balance between cost and convenience, right?
Yes, yes.
And so we all kind of have to find our happy place, but when it comes down to it, once we get in rhythms, it doesn't take so much time. It's just getting in the habit of doing that.
So great.
Yeah.
Jenna, you're brilliant. Seriously.
Well,
all of this is so good.
It's fun.
I'm not
It's
kidding.
fun.
Well, thanks for coming and busting the myth
Thanks for
that
having us.
you can eat healthy and still save money and be on a budget and do all the things, but still be wise with your nutrition. So thanks so much.
And it can be delicious.
Should we just eat the soup?
Can we just eat
now?
these
Or
right
that
here?
too. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, Rachel.
Jenna is so fantastic. Is she just not great? So make sure to check out her website, jennawaters.com, for more tips and all that she is doing. All right, coming up next, favorite part of the show, you guys, celebrating you all with She Works Hard, Saving Money. And this is a How You're Having Fun While Getting Out of Debt edition. Jen said, camping in the summer. For birthdays and Christmas, we request experiences. We are also having a blast downsizing and selling/donating our stuff. So awesome, Jen. The sacrifice, but you're having fun. Amber said, library books and movies. And when we want to go see a new movie, we wait till it comes out on Redbox and game nights. So see, you guys, you can have a life and have fun while you're getting out of debt. It's not going to kill you. All right, I have some very exciting news. I've been waiting to tell you this, seems like forever, but this episode and future episodes are now available as a podcast. That's right. Coming to the airwaves, people. I can't wait. Subscribe to the Rachel Cruze Show podcast and make sure to download this episode. Because the fun thing is you're going to hear a lot of things that we don't cover here on the show. So a lot of new content. It's going to be so great. All right, well, thanks so much to Rosanna and Jeremy for coming on, and for Jenna for showing us some really great tips with our food. And thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.